It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Abuja Inquirer. The major story here says, deadly Easter weekend. Riders 18 burnt beyond recognition in Enugu highway crash. Many drown in Bayelsa boat mishap. Fatal crash claims 3 in Abuja. Some sad developments there across the country. You find all the details on the front page of the Abuja Inquirer. We'll move now to the front page of the Daily Trust, still talking about auto crashes claiming 385 lives in 3 months. Bauchi, Kebbi, Niger lead in casualty figures. 6,000 deaths recorded annually. FRSC, that's the Federal Road Safety Corps, blames overspeeding, overloading, others as reasons for this number of auto crashes that we have recorded in the past 3 months. You find details on the front page of the Daily Trust. And now to the front page of the Leadership newspaper. Concerns over renewed terror attacks after 2023 polls. Concerns over renewed terror attacks after 2023 polls. Security experts fault president's marching orders to service chiefs without result. Security experts fault president's marching orders to service chiefs without results. All the details on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. To the First News newspaper now. What Tinubu must do from May the 29th. Bishop Kuka speaking says incoming administration must keep Nigerians alive before embarking on fulfilling electoral promises. All the details on the front page of the First News newspaper. Mike.
All right, I have Nigeria News Direct here. That's where we're going next. And it says Nigeria will move faster if we shun ethnic religious sentiments. President-elect Tinubu is saying that Nigeria will move faster if we shun ethnic religious sentiments. That's the news, Nigeria News Direct. This day is next. This day says tributes pour in as Bola Ajibola 89 is buried in Abeokuta. Tributes pour in as Bola Ajibola 89 is buried in Abeokuta. He was at the time the Attorney General for the Federation under former military president Ibrahim Badamoti Babangida's regime, and moved on to become a judge at the International Court of Justice. All right, from there, let's go to Nature News. Nature News says stakeholders blame climate change for unrest in Nigeria's northwest. Stakeholders blame climate change for unrest in Nigeria's northwest. Okay, that's what Nature News has. The last one we're looking at now is the AI race. And that's the focus there. AI race, why the stakes are bigger. That's a big story on Business Day. The AI race, why the stakes are bigger. All right, AI growth threatens Nigeria's fragile job market. Okay, that's what it's saying, and how it will change face of healthcare and entertainment industry gets makeover, right? All this we find on the front page of Business Day, right, Veronica?
Mike, let's quickly look at some of the story that is raising concern, generating concern across the country because of the number of attacks we saw across the country over the weekend, so to speak, Benue being one of the states that witnessed that. On the front page of the Leadership newspaper, you see a story where concerns are over renewed attacks, terror attacks after the 2023 polls. And security experts are faulting the president's marching orders to service chiefs without results. They're saying that the service chiefs are already writing their handover notes. We saw what happened in Benue, where the governor came out to say that they would not be forced to pick up arms against anyone. Even the president had to speak over the weekend that they reviewed the security situation within the states. And the governor of the state said that about 134 persons were killed in 5 days. That's quite alarming, Mike.
It's quite disheartening to see this development from Benue State precisely, but Benue is not the only state that is witnessing.
We
had Zamfara,
Kaduna
exactly.
as well.
Very good. So the issue for Benue, there are also issues of communal clashes. Recently, we heard news between Otukpo local government and Uchu local government. There has been some clashes. Thank God the military has moved in to ensure that there's level of calm. Now, Nigerians are now seeing or trying to analyze the relationship between the cash availability and the attacks or the kidnap that we're seeing here and there. Now, recall that prior to the election, where we had the cash crunch, there seemed to have been a cessation of kidnapping and issues of insecurity in parts of the country. And as much as the CBN had said, okay, the CBN governor had said that we're going to use the cash crunch in the initial reasons that were given to see how they can curb corruption, curb insecurity, curb kidnapping, and curb all of those. That may have worked in that regard. But when the currencies that was released or re-injected, it seemed to have given a leeway to kidnappers to say, okay, fine, let's go back to business. And it brings back the issue of the service chiefs. Of course, we've seen the president give them marching orders so many times throughout the 8 years. We've seen the president given marching orders. Yet, we don't see the commensurate result. Sometimes we see it goes down, other times it comes up, other times it goes down. So it's been wobbling here and there, where you see the impact of what the security agents are doing, and then other times the resurfacing of attacks again, and you wonder what's going on, what's happening.
Now, they responded to that aspect, that informants. We've always talked about faith columnists within the system and how they are undermining government's effort at addressing this matter. How do we fish them out?
The challenge. The issue there is not so much, it's a challenge, but if the government wants to do it, they can do it, right? Because the issue there is, there are technical partners of Nigeria, technical security partners of Nigeria who are experts in those things. And it has to do with how we want to engage them. The issue of security is very delicate, where if you're bringing a foreigner into your security system, it's like opening up your country to them. So you have to try to decide and balance between how much of your security you are going to give off to a foreigner and in order to sanitize the system, and how much you want to retain so that they don't get to know everything about your security apparatus and your security strategy. So these are some of the challenges the echelon of security
we don't necessarily
face.
need foreigners. I believe that there are experts in Nigeria.
There are experts in Nigeria, but the point there is
issues.
Yes,
but how are we engaging them is the question.
Yeah, the issue there is that there are experts within Nigeria, but you need technology.
Of course.
And in using some of this technology, not all of them are domesticated here. There are some that you have to bring from outside.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to do that, there are some of the gadgets or some of the equipment that you're going to need government to government. If you want them as fast as possible, you're going to need government to government agreement and contracts and memorandum of understanding to bring them in. So that's what I'm saying. So, but the moment you're bringing these people in as a way of, okay, come, because in a situation where, okay, you don't even know whom to trust in this whole system, you don't know who to trust, because when you're talking about the fifth columnist, it could be anybody.
Of course.
Recall under President, former President Goodluck Jonathan. He owned up and said, well, Boko Haram had infiltrated his government and security. So the point is, you don't even know who is the person.
Yeah.
So if you're going to sanitize the system, then you're going to need somebody who is totally outside of the system to come and sanitize with the mind of objectivity. You don't have any stake. So pay me the money, I come and do the job clean for you. So I don't have any affiliation to anybody. So
I will not be corrupted in the process.
That is the thing. Yeah. So if you want to clean it up that way, that is the best way to do it, because you don't know who is involved. But the challenge too is that you're bringing these people and opening up your entire security formula of your entire security apparatus to them is also dangerous. So it becomes a very dicey...
Because you don't know whose interest they might want to serve at the end of the day.
So at the end, when they finish cleaning up the system, now they now know how your security system and network works. Then you've handed over the entire country to someone else, and you wouldn't want to do that. So it becomes a very dicey situation for the security agents. But the point there is,
something has to be done. We can't continue. Nigerians can't continue in this mix because they can't sleep with their two eyes closed.
Of course.
You can't have a situation where we have 134 persons being killed in 5 days. We had reports of about 80 children who said to have been kidnapped. And all of that, and we say we have to do something as it stands.
Of course, that's the biggest task before the incoming president, Bola Tinubu. That's going to be one of his biggest tasks. But the Nigerians are confident because of his capacity, his network across the world, to see how he can balance between what I was saying earlier. If you want to work with foreign technical partners, people who have countries and corporations that are friends of Nigeria in the area that they can help, and then using local content based on the trust within the system to see how they can ensure that they weed out these people and then come up with the fresh arrangement for security. Because if there is no security, there can't be dividends of the money. That's what Father Bishop Kuka
it's the foundation of what you have to build on.
That is what Bishop Kuka is writing his letter on. If there is no security, you can't talk about any development.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about foreign direct investment that should come in. If there's no security, who want to go and invest his money where there is no security? Even those who are local investors, if there's no security, how do you ensure there is road construction? If there's no security, how do you ensure there is power supply? If there's no security, so the point there is security has to be number one first. If there's security, then Nigerians and businessmen can travel from anywhere to anywhere doing their business, and then the country can blossom from taxes, from economic activity, as the case may be. So it's a huge task before President-elect Tinubu when he comes in on May 29th. So we'll wait to see how that pans out.
Well, from his 80-page document of renewed hope, he has, it seems to have it all planned out. And so Nigerians will be waiting to see how he implements that.
Yeah, he talked about the issue of building an army based on ideology. If he does that where you entrench patriotism, because that was what the Nigerian army was known
all about,
right? In the 60s, 70s, and even part of the 80s, the Nigerian army or the Nigerian military officer anywhere in the world is respected. So I believe he wants to take us back to those days and even improve on it.
Where Nigerians can have renewed hope in the military, delivering on the security of not just what it is within the country, but even its borders as well.
And the sub-region.
Absolutely.